Bear with me, Israel. Doing right, Israel. Jesus Christ. There we go. We're starting to get a little bit. Starting to look like I know what I'm doing a little bit, right? What's going on in Israel? Here at Isupk. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohana. And our mission is to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they are according to the Bible, and that the oppressors, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. In today's class is going to be the separation is the Lord's will. You understand? Separation is the Lord's will. And we still to this day want to come together, want to be a part of America, want to be a part of this wicked place, want to celebrate the 4th of July, want to celebrate all the pagan holidays, man. When the Lord said not to be a part of this place, not to care about these goddamn pagan holidays, not to celebrate them, not to do any of that. But for some odd reason in our mind, we really think that that we can be a part of this place, that we should be a part of this place. We do everything in our power to be accepted by these devils, man. And let me tell you something, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. It don't matter how much you bow down and kiss the butt of the oppressor, he's never going to love you in this place. He's never going to accept you. You're always going to be I can't even call you a second-class citizen, because that would entail that you actually had some rights. You will be a 10th-class citizen. Everybody else is going to come before you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And you're always gonna suffer up under the blue hair of the oppressor. Little girl, cut it down. You're always gonna suffer under the boot heel of the oppressor. You're not gonna get a break. It's not gonna be equality. And let me tell you something. Only slaves want equality. Only slaves want to be treated equal. You understand? Free men want rulership. You've never heard an oppressor in none of these protests talk about how they want to be equal with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All of them want to rule over you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. All of them. There's not one that doesn't. I've never met an oppressor that says, I'm fine being equal with you. I'm fine walking hand in hand with you. None of them feel that way. It is only us that wants to be a part of them, that wants to be equal with them, that wants to stand in their shadow. Because we're not standing next to them, we will always be beneath these people. There's no way that two people can be dominant at the same time. To be equal with somebody is to have the illusion that y'all the same. We are not the same with the oppressor. Point blank, period. We are not the same. We are better than them. And until we start to conduct and carry ourselves like so, by separating from them, we're going to always suffer up under the boot heel of the oppressor, man. But once more, these ain't my words. These is the words of the Most High, man. You understand? These are the words of the Most High. Point blank, period. And we're about to get it in the scriptures. My fault. Been a rough day, still getting together. We're about to get into some of these scriptures, man. We're going to start off by pulling it in. We're going to go to the Apocrypha to show you how much more special that you are than every other nation on the face of this planet, man. We're going to get it. In Ecclesiastes 2, Salaki, Second Ezra is 2 and 56, I believe it is. Bear with me. Like I said, it's been a rough day trying to get stuff together, but we're here nonetheless. We're going to rock it out nonetheless, because in this place, it don't matter what the hell goes on in your life. There's no excuses and no cowardice. There's a job to be done, and we will fulfill that job here at Isupk. So we're going to get it in Second Ezra 2, Second Ezra, where am I? 6. Don't ask me why I said 2. I'm thinking of other scriptures. Second Ezra 6 and 56, I believe it is. Second Ezra 6 and 56. All right, I'm gonna start at 54. Second Ezra 6 and 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou hast made of all creatures, made of Lord of all creatures. Of him come we all. Here comes all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come from Adam. You understand? All blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come from Adam. Point blank period. This is something that we've learned thanks to the Christian church. The Christian church uses this, says we all come from Adam, to try to put us all in the same bundle to get you to forgive the oppressor for decades of rape, murder, pillaging, and robbing. This is the scripture that he uses, or not the scripture, but this is the fact that he uses to try to get you to forgive the oppressor for all the wickedness that they've committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We all come from Adam, and we all better learn to forgive each other. But the oppressor doesn't feel that way. The oppressor doesn't treat you that way. He's continued to murder blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And I'm going to show you why separation is so important. You understand? Because we are not the same, no matter how much they try to pretend we are. Let's get it. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Now, it says, also the Lord has chosen, which lets you know that the Lord has chosen a special people, right? Let me tell you something, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. You are that special person that the Lord has chosen. The Lord has chosen you to be a special people. That's who this scripture is talking about. Let's get some more. And Salaki, all this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. The world, meaning society, meaning everything that you see. There's a different kind of world. You got the music world, you got the sports world, you got Sea World. You get what I'm saying? You got all type of different worlds. And let me tell you something. Our world is the world of the Lord. He made it for our sakes. This Bible, you understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, this is strictly for you. You understand? And nowhere in the Bible are you going to see this image. You're not going to see this image anywhere in the Bible. Trust me when I tell you this. I've done the research. You're not going to find this image anywhere in there. In fact, in our school, this right here, this is a doormat. You understand? That's what that is, man. Let's get some more. Verse 56. As for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but like unto spittle, and have like them the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. The Lord said they like a drop that falleth from the vessel. They are absolutely nothing. You don't give a damn about them. And you know what I'm saying? And that's the end of that. Why even bother with them? We don't need them. They don't matter. They're like a drop that falleth from a vessel. And with that, I want to pull Deuteronomy 7:6. Deuteronomy 7:6, when it says, "Ye chosen a people," let's get it. "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou hast chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all." Did I catch that? Above all. So I'll say that again. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. But you want to be equal. We want to be equal. We don't want separation. We don't want separation. When the fact of the matter is this, separation is a way of life. No matter how you splice it, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you go about it, separation is a part of life. You separate the best from the strong from the weak, the rich from the poor, the good from the bad. You separate everything. You separate your good vegetables from your bad vegetables. If you got multiple kids, you separate your bad kids from the good kids. You don't give the bad kids the same rewards you get the good kids. You separate them, right? Well, listen, you got straight A's in school, so you're gonna get X, Y, Z. You didn't get straight A's in school. You got D's and F's, so therefore this is what you get. Absolutely nothing. There's separation as a way of life. So why come when it comes to separating everything else, we do it, but then when it comes to separating us as a nation to the oppressor, we refuse to do it. We refuse to separate. For some odd reason, as a people, we feel like we cannot survive without the oppressor, which we know is a goddamn lie. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you do not need the oppressor to survive. You have to separate. You have to separate. You do not need them to survive. In fact, you have to separate from them in order to survive. That it is no longer a want or anything of that nature. This is straight survival. You have to separate from them in order to survive as a people, because it's been proven that oppressor will not stop killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When it comes to killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the oppressor turns into the goddamn Terminator. You understand? He will not stop. He will not be bargaining with, reason with. He's just going to keep coming to kill blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And if we stay the hell away, guess who he's going to kill then? He's going to kill himself. He's going to kill other white people. And that's what the hell we need to do. We need to stay away from them, separate from them the way the Lord said. You understand? That's what the Lord said. With that, we're about to get into some more scriptures. We're about to get it in 2nd Ezra. Ezra. I'm thinking of another scripture. Second Ezra. Ezra. Keep saying second. So lucky. We're going to get it in 10 and 11. 10 and 11. Ezra 10, verse 11. Now, therefore, make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers. I'll read that again. Now, therefore, make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate. I'll read that again. Do his pleasure. It pleases the Lord when we separate from our goddamn oppressors, when we separate from all the heathen nations. That pleases the Lord. Why do you think the Isupk has been so successful since 1969? You understand? We ain't out here getting beat up by old Christian women with shoes in their hands, having guns pointed in their face by 50-year-old pastors who can't even hold it straight, shaking. It's a reason for that, because we are separate, man. We're separate from our enemies, unlike these other fake groups who align themselves with the enemies, who have Africans in their camp that kill black women and try to get rid of their bodies. You understand? We are not affiliated with no other Hebrew Israelite group. We are not affiliated with nobody. This is the true body of Christ, and we are separate from anything that is not of Christ. any and all things that is not of Christ. You understand? We are separate from all the heathen nations because the Lord ain't with them. And if you're not serving the Lord, we separate from you as well. We still try to save you. We try to do what we can to bring you up and bring you into the fold. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then hey, Lord be with you. That's all I can tell you. Because we ain't gonna be standing next to you. We will not be standing next to you. You understand? We cannot condone the filth that you guys do. Let me get back to the scriptures. And do his pleasure and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. That's heavy. That's real heavy. You know what I witnessed yesterday? During the 4th of July, during your Freedom Day, I witnessed a lot of interracial relationships. That's what I witnessed. A lot of interracial couples. You out here with strange wives. The Lord don't know you. He don't condone that. He don't listen. He's not with that, man. The Lord is not with that. He wants blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to only be with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And listen, and why shouldn't we be? Every other nation feels the same and thinks the same way, but for some odd reason, it's always us. It's always us that wants to take on a strange wife or a strange husband. But here's the sad part when you do that, and this is biblical. When you do that, you start to take on their philosophy and their ways. When you celebrate 4th of July, whether you have a heathen husband or wife or not, guess what you're doing? You're marrying yourself to their ways. You're marrying yourself to America because you're doing exactly what America wants you to do. Hey, listen, you done married America. You done lie down in the bed with her. You done took all her ways. You following everything that she wants to do. You have no problem, celebrating the pagan holidays, celebrating your birthday, doing whatever it is that you want to do instead of what the Lord told you to do, right? And that's the problem with us as a nation. That is why we're out here being destroyed. That's why we're out here suffering. That's why we're under the oppression that we're under right now. Because we want to do what we want to do. When we don't take these laws, statutes, and commandments serious. When you don't take these laws, statutes, and commandments serious, guess what happens to us as a nation? We are destroyed as a people, not as individuals, but as a people. We suffer as a nation every goddamn time. We are judged as a nation, not as individuals, but as a collective. So as a collective, guess what we have to do? We have to come together and serve the Lord. You understand? Point blank period. That's what we have to do. We have to come together and serve the Lord. Every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Don't pick and choose. We do it as a collective. Well, I'm okay because he's doing it. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. We have to do it as a unit, as a collective, as a nation. That's what it said in the scriptures. If you read the scriptures again, I'll even break it down for you. It said, the God of your fathers, meaning it was more than one person. He's talking to a group of people, a nation. He's talking to all of us. He's talking to every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You understand? Saying that we're supposed to be following these laws, statutes, and commandments. We got to get better at it, Israel. We have to. Separation is what the Lord wants us to do. Us being joined on to the hip to the oppressor is the reason why we're still out here dying and all of these goddamn every aspect of life. Like, you know how many black people died during the 4th of July? And I'll tell you a sad part. You know how many black people been dying during the 4th of July? Since 1776, before 1776, even before the 4th of July became a national holiday, you know how many blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians died on the 4th of July? Too many to goddamn count, man. We're always dying at the hands of our oppressors, man. And when we join ourselves onto them and follow their ways and do what they do, we suffer even more because the Lord is not with us. He is not with that. He is not with us. He is not with them. You understand? And you want to join yourself to somebody that the Lord is not with. We just read it in second Ezra. We You get what I'm saying? Let's get another scripture, man. Let's get another scripture. We're going to get this in Matthew's. We're going to go Matthew's 10 and 5 first. That's where we're going. Matthew's 10 and 5. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Separate yourselves from them, man. Separate yourselves from the goddamn oppressor. If we don't, we're going to continue to die out here. We're going to continue to suffer. We're going to continue to be on the bottom. On the bottom. On the bottom. I'll say it again. On the bottom, man. This is Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 Yahweh shall set forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This right here is proof, man. The Lord didn't say, go get with everybody, go be a part of everybody. You get what I'm saying? Go spread the word of Jesus onto whoever comes your way. That's what we're taught to do now. And let me tell you something, there's a difference. Even to this day, there's a difference. You're not allowed at certain places, man. You're just not allowed. Certain churches will not allow you to go in there. And these are all white churches, right? These are all white churches. You think that you would be allowed to go in there because they're all Christians, right? You would think that. But you're wrong for thinking that way. You're wrong, dead wrong. Because these other nations don't give a damn about you being a goddamn Christian. Christianity is not for black people. Before black people became Christians, right? Before the concept of Christianity, what were you, black man? What were you, Native Indian man? What were you, Hispanic man? What was your religion then? You didn't have one. You only had law, statutes, and commandments. And I'll tell you what, you got rid of the law, statutes, and commandments for religion. And religion is not about following law, statutes, and commandments. Religion is about an idea. That's all religion is an idea. An idea that if I do this, and that, I will be good to go. That's how religion works. Religion works like if you believe that you can, if you just believe it, you be all right. No matter what you do wicked. No matter what you do wicked. I'll tell you, what's the prime example? Homosexuality, right? All of these homosexuals are running around with Christian crosses. They have homosexual churches. They have lesbian churches. All of these homosexuals and lesbians, who do they believe in? They believe in white Jesus. They believe in this guy right here. This is who they believe in. Let this soak in. This is their God. And this is who loves them anyway. This is who loves them to come together. They can, be in interracial homosexual relationship. They can be in whatever. They can do whatever they want to do. This guy right here allows you to do whatever you want to do. As long as you got him in your heart. As long as you got this dude in your heart, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You are good to go. He's going to love you anyway. But you know who's not going to? The nigga guy. He makes it very clear. The do's and the don't do's. What's acceptable was not acceptable. And as a people, we have to get back to that, man. We have to get back to that. We got to quit saying stupid stuff, thinking that it's that how do I put it? That it's acceptable, man, for lack of better words, man. That it's acceptable. It's not, man. We have to separate from the oppressor. And let me tell you something. The oppressor don't want to be a part of you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. He hates your goddamn guts. While you still trying to figure out a way to kumbaya and be a part of him, he's trying to figure out how to get you to leave him the hell alone. He wants to separate from you. He wants that. He wants his own freedom. He doesn't want to be a part of your America. He wants his America. He wants to make America great again, like Donald Trump said. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make it great again. And I'll tell you when America was great to the oppressor. The America was great to the oppressor when you was in chains, black man, when he didn't have to answer for any of the wicked things that he did to you. He could choke you out all he wanted to. Court cases weren't a big deal. That's all he wants. He wants everything to go back the way it was. You just shut the hell up and die in peace and die quietly. Let him murder you and you don't say a goddamn thing about it. He wants to murder you and it not be national news, where he might have to go do 2 years in prison. What is he doing 2 years in prison for? This is his thought process. For what? He showed you all through the pandemic, right after the pandemic, before the pandemic. Like, goddamn, when are we gonna get the picture? They don't want us to be a part of America. Everywhere that there's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, we're the majority. The funding for that area is at an all-time low. The schools are the crappiest. Everything is the absolute worst. The white man does not put any government funds into anything. They won't even fix the goddamn streets. They'll start fixing the streets once the neighborhood becomes gentrified, and gentrification ain't nothing but an act of war. You think they're coming in there to be with you, to be a melting pot of what it is to be their vision of America? No, that's a goddamn lie. They're doing that, and slowly but surely, you are pushed out to neighborhoods. For some odd reason, the numbers say this: whenever white people move into your neighborhood, somehow it becomes a good neighborhood, and the housing market shoots through the goddamn roof. There was houses where I lived at that used to be like 20, 30, 50,000. Now these goddamn houses is $200,000, and ain't nothing changed about the house besides they painted it. You understand? Because there's a white person that lives in back of the house on the next street. The price in the equity in the house goes up whenever white people move in. Let me tell you something. That's not by mistake. That is by design. That is another form of redlining to keep you the hell up out of the market in order for you to even afford a house. They want you gone out of your own neighborhood. They're not here to come together with you. They want to be separated from you. Wherever they go, their mission is to separate you from that area. We're going into the book of Deuteronomy now. Into the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to Deuteronomy 32 and 8. 32 and 8. Like, we have always been a separate people, man. The second that we start to come together with these heathen nations, black people start to suffer more. And more and more and more and more and more. Like, there's really no way to explain it, man, outside of these scriptures, for you to actually understand it and get the point. We are so destroyed out here. You understand? We are so destroyed. We thinking that voting can save us. We everything that you could think to save us, man, we have tried. And if nothing has ever worked. Nothing has ever worked. We've done everything the Christian pastor says to do. We've done everything the oppressor says to do. We've done everything except what the Lord said to do. You ever think of that? Let that sink in. We've done everything that everybody else asked us to do, but we have not did anything that the Lord asked us to do. Let's try doing what the Lord said to do. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided the nations, that's the part I need you to understand. Understand this. When the Most High divided to the nations, he didn't listen, every nation got their own thing. The Most High gave blessings and looked out for every nation. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. You understand this when it comes to Esau. You know that he's a cunning hunter. You know that. You know Esau's a cunning hunter. You get what I'm saying? Every nation has their own gifts that the Lord has given them. You, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, he's giving you all them gifts plus the covenant. He's divided the nations, their inheritance. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, I'll say that again. When he separated the sons of Adam, we just read in our Apocrypha how Adam is, we all come from Adam. We do. And he separated us all. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are all one. Get what I'm saying? All them other heathen nations, we don't give a damn about them, man. They can go do whatever it is that a heathen does. Go be all the heathen they want to be. Be as much as the heathen as you want to be, man. But what you're not going to do is keep trying to integrate with the Lord's chosen children, man. Everybody wants to be the Lord's chosen until it's time to suffer like the Lord's chosen suffers. Ever notice that? People don't give a damn about integrating with you, man. They want you dead. They just want your inheritance, and that's it. They want nothing else that comes along with being an Israelite. They want nothing else that comes along with that. They just want you to die. They want to take over their inheritance, and listen. And that's the end of it. That's it. You get what I'm saying? That's it. That's what we would be at. We'd be dead, and they'll come and say, listen, we're the Lord's chosen now. That's what they really believe is going to happen. But thanks to the teachers that I should be carrying the commanded journey of honor, we know we're never going to let that happen, man. One way or another, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, we're going to get you in shape, man. You have to separate. You have to. This is the only way that we're going to survive as a nation. Because if we keep on being a part of white America, we're going to keep on being on the bottom. We're going to keep on dying. We're going to keep on suffering. We're going to keep on being destroyed. Them days is over with, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, them days is over with. It's time to get right under the Lord, man. And I had an article that I wanted to bring out, man. But I'm not very computer savvy. I wanted to pull it up on the screen. Don't have anybody here to help me. I need to get better at that next time. I promise I will be able to do it myself. But I had an article that I wanted to pull up and a video that I wanted to show. But I'll just read the article. Let me pull the article up real quick, man, before we get back into it. And when I came across this article, this was the reason why I wanted to make sure that we went into separation, right? Make sure we went into separation so we can start to understand that, being locked up with the oppressor is nothing but a death wish for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's all it is. It's nothing but a death wish for us. We're going to die every goddamn time. They're going to murder us every goddamn time. We're going to be the bottom of the totem pole every goddamn time. We're not going to get anything. It's right there, baby. Understand? We're going to always be destroyed. Get it. It's right there. No. Right there. No. Right there. Get your water. Right here. See it? Get it. No, give me that. Give me that, and you get the other one. Yep, go ahead. Look, every time we're going to keep being destroyed, man. Like I said, I came across this article, and this article is a proposal, right? Proposal. Now, listen to this article. Listen to this article, and then I want you to give me your honest opinion. You understand? If there's anybody out there, man, type it in. I'm looking. Reach out. Hey, Shalom, Lord Christ, mighty man. But in this article, right, it says proposal to teach slavery as involuntary relocation in the Texas education law. Now, this is one of the this is a product of that critical race theory, right? The critical race theory, where the oppressor is trying to, for lack of better terms, whitewash slavery. You get what I'm saying? This is what they're trying to do now. Whitewash slavery. They don't want blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian children being taught about slavery now. It's no longer called slavery. They want to call it involuntary relocation. What the? Oh, I almost dropped that bomb. What the hell did you do? Misplaced the remote? Involuntary relocation? Who the hell says stuff like this, man? Who the hell would accept something like this, man? Why the hell is this even a question, man? Why? How destroyed do we have to be as a people to not read through the goddamn lines? They don't want your kids in the same goddamn classroom learning anything about Black history. You understand? If we got to be in here with Black kids, and Black kids are going to ask questions about this and ask questions about that, we're going to teach them what the hell we want to teach them. Which I have a question. How is this different from any other time they've taught our kids? That's the problem. This is one of the main reasons we need to separate, outside of being raped, murdered, pillaged, and robbed. You understand? Outside of all of that, this is one of the other reasons why we need to learn how to separate from the goddamn oppressor. Point blank, period. This right here is destroying Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Flat out. No other way about it, no other way to explain it. This is destroying us, man. No other nation of people is taught their history by the same people who murders and kills and rapes and pillages and robs them. Just you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Just you. No one else has to worry about critical race theory. No one else has to. The so-called Jewish man doesn't have to, talk to the German man about why is he trying to teach critical race theory. That's not a conversation. You don't see the Jewish man fighting with German people about how to educate their goddamn kids, because nobody gets taught by the people who murders them. Nobody gets taught by the people who rapes them. Nobody gets taught by the people who enslaves them. No one teaches you that history, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Are you listening to me? No one teaches them their history. Their own people teaches them their history. And the right history. You hear what I'm saying? But now with this right here, this involuntary relocation, this new theory that's coming out, watch what I tell you. Your Christian pastors is going to be the first one to jump on board with this. Your Christian pastors is going to be the first ones to accept this and allow this to be a part of the new Christian philosophy. Because the Christian pastor wants acceptance from the oppressor. He wants it. He wants to be a part of white society. In fact, he feels like he can't live without being a part of white society. That's why most churches to this day still have this picture on the wall. That's why this picture right here is still on the wall in most churches, because they refuse to accept Black Christ. And they say the reason that most Christian pastors say this, they say the reason why they refuse to accept Black Christ, to show you how Christ really looks and to teach how Christ really looks, is because Black people will never accept a Black king. That's why they say that. They say Black people will never accept a Messiah if he's not white. Why do you think they say that, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man? You know the Christian church has been telling you. You know the Christian pastor's a goddamn lie. And he's telling you, yeah, I even know I'm a goddamn lie. These people like to be lied to. One more question, Cat.
Son's here. I got one back out.
Come on, sir. He's like, even though I'm lying to them, these people like being lied to. That's the spirit behind them. That's the philosophy behind them. They like being lied to. Point blank, period. They accept the lie, we're going to give the lie, and everybody's happy. That's what Christianity is. Christianity is about you being happy and feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. That's what it's about. You feeling happy, being happy, and living in La La Land. Point blank, period. Living in goddamn La La Land. If you would, I need you right here. I actually got an article and I got a video. I'm about to send it to the Thurman page. I would have did it myself, but I don't know how to work it.
You know how to work this?
Yeah, I know how to do that part. I'm talking about pull the video up. Don't let it bother you. We'll talk about it later. Just if you would, I'm about to send it. So
I don't know how to do that.
So you don't know how to pull a video up?
No, but I can push out.
All right.
Just what you just did like that.
Well, I'm guessing you would do it the same way that you do the music.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Because I couldn't even figure out how to do that. Bear with me, people. I'm about to try to send this video and this article so everybody can see what the hell that I'm seeing.
So if you send it to me, I'll look it up. And I'll just get up.
What you said?
So if you send it to me,
I'm gonna send it to
look at
the third page on Messenger. That's how you usually do it, and then it gets pulled up in Messenger. So what you're saying is you want me to send it to you personally?
Yeah, so I can look at the article on Google and just share it from Google onto you.
Alrighty, I should be able to do that. I'm gonna send it to your Messenger. All right, I sent one, and I'm gonna send another. All right, and then I'm gonna send this other one to you. This one. Now, I was just about to go into this article, talking about how the goddamn oppressor is the devil and how he wants to separate from us. But you know, we like a couple in a bad relationship. I can't let you go. I won't let you leave. You ever see a crazy woman in a relationship that, you know, a dude trying to leave and she's like, no, I won't let you leave. Hey, no, I love you. No, don't do this to me. That's us with one society. That is us. That is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. White men like, no, we want segregation again, nigger. You go do your thing, we'll do our thing, leave us be. No, Mr. White Man, I can't live without you. Oh no, I love you so much. Don't do this to me. That's us. We're in an abusive relationship and just can't get over the bullcrap that we're in, the bullcrap relationship we're in, as far as the oppressor is concerned. We can't function without them. We can't live life without them. We must have them in our lives. We can't. How are we gonna eat, y'all, if we don't have the oppressor? If the oppressor is not there to tell me how to handle my business, how am I gonna know how to handle my business? I need that taxation without representation. I need that in my life. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, just know this. You built goddamn pyramids that they still can't copy to this day. That's how great you are. You built pyramids that they still trying to figure out how the hell did these niggas build this. That's what they're trying to figure out. And let me tell you how much the oppressor hates you. He gives credit to any and everybody else for building pyramids but you. He gave credits to the Muslims. He gave credit to the Africans. He's given credit to even himself. Did he give credit to the black man? No. He didn't give no credit to the black man. He said the black man couldn't have built these pyramids. Well, and then the rest of the people in the world was like, well, you didn't build them, and the black man didn't build them. You say the black man didn't build them. Who built them? You know what the oppressor said? The oppressor said aliens built them. He said anybody but a black man. They gave the credit to aliens, little gray people, right? Little gray people came down here. Any other time they denied spaceships and aliens. But if it means not giving you any goddamn credit, they'll give them the credit, man. That's how much they separate from you, black man. They didn't say, why come black people couldn't have this ingenuity? We're all one species. We're all family here. We all love each other. We all know how to move. We all know what to do. Of course they could have built it. No. They didn't say that. They didn't say those are our brothers. Of course our brothers could have built that. Why not? They said, no, the goddamn aliens built it. Spacemen did. You niggas ain't capable of doing nothing. You niggas gotta separate. You niggas, we separate from y'all. And listen, you don't have the intelligence, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the drive, you don't have the mental capacity. This is something that we've heard our whole lives. I'm gonna send it to the other messenger and try to pull it up. So you said you can't pull it up without pulling up the other screen?
So I tried to look on the article, so I tried to look at the article, so I could type up, I couldn't find it. So, if you could report sent to me, the current page.
Yeah, how much?
Try to send it out for that.
You know what? Doing it now, sending it to. This is gonna be the one with the middle name. You hear me?
This is gonna be the one with the middle.
Yep. Did you see it? All right, no sweat.
Here onto his message.
So you would open up a share window, see it, you share, go to a new thing, and then you would go to like how you would, yeah, and then you would go to, I'm not sure which one of those you would use, but whichever one, it would be one like you pull it up a new like how you would get on the video to do that. Like I said, I don't know how the logistics work, the ins and outs, but I know that's what you would do. Here's the setup kind of different from the way that I know to use it. Is that it?
This is this how it's set up.
That's not the one. So do that same thing except pull up Facebook and pull it off of out of the messenger that I just did.
Oh, yeah, I'll be up with you.
Yeah, do that same thing. All right, Most High Christ. Yep, and then straight out the messenger like that, you can rock it out. And while he's doing that, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, I'm gonna pull some more scriptures, man. Because like I said, we gotta understand this, man. Separation is the main thing that we gotta do, man. Like when we integrated with these people, we do everything that they do and we suffer behind it. And I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 10:2. This has to do with separation as well. Because when we're not separated, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna monkey see, monkey do. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna monkey see, monkey do. Jeremiah 10:1. Hear the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. And listen, that is the number one thing that we do when we come together. You know, like, it's a difference between adapting and integrating. We don't adapt anymore, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. We do not adapt. We don't believe in adapting no more. When you adapt to something, you are who you are. You just doing what you got to do for survival. We don't adapt no more. We've integrated. Let me tell you something. I'll give you a scenario. We've all watched war movies, right? War movies where the captor be behind enemy lines, right? They'll be behind enemy lines and something will happen and they do what? They adapt to their surroundings in order to survive and get back to where they need to be. They don't integrate. They don't be trapped in a Muslim country and become Muslim. He adapts to be a Muslim, speak the language, and do all of that, and make his way back. Us, here's what we do. We accept it. Now we want to be American. Go ahead. You got it? All All right, motion on press. We're about to play this article. And and before you play it, this article, listen to what these devils are saying, man. Listen to what these devils are saying about the education system. Go ahead, cut it up and start from the beginning. It sounds like this is another video. Just click on that video, maybe that'll override it.
Growing up, I was 8 or 9, and I lived in a very wealthy part of St. Louis,
there's
a
gotta be
rich
another
county
tab open
that was
somewhere.
predominantly white, and then they did inner city busing from East St. Louis into this.
You should.
And so I remember
Go ahead.
being like in elementary school and asking my mom, like, I know that we're supposed to believe that people with different skin colors are the same, but like these people are clearly not the same as us. And my mom was like, do not let anybody hear you say that.
Wow.
And it didn't occur to me until years later that I was like, I was kind of on it. I was 8 or 9, you know?
Your experience with this busing program reminds me of something that Robert Patterson once said. He was the founder of the White Citizens Council in the 1960s. It was set up to fight school integration and residential integration.
Oh, man.
And
Figure it out real quick.
he
Keep
said,
working on it, and we'll
the
come
sure
back to it.
cure for integration
It's coming
fever
back on me. No, it's not. No, I'm looking at it. All right, it is now. I see it. All right, Israel. So let me get to the point. The point of this article is I want you to hear what they're saying about education and how it was when she was growing up. She said that devil said that black people weren't equal to her and that she's better than black people. That's what she was saying. She was saying that she's smarter. She was saying that. You still haven't figured it out? Is there something on this computer screen?
No, there's nothing. There was originally nothing on it. So I just moved the Facebook from this screen over to here so we can still see you, but I'm still going on.
Gotcha. All right. No sweat. I wish we could just play that goddamn article all the way through so you can hear it. So let's try it one more time, man. This is very important. This was what I wanted to make sure that we understood in this separation, man, because as long as we try to be a part of white America, we gonna keep looking like goddamn fools, man. That's what we gonna keep looking like. We gonna keep looking like goddamn idiots, trying to be a part of a society that don't give a damn about you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. That's what we've done our whole lives. That's what we continue to do. And like I said, when is enough gonna be enough? When are you finally gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm done with America. I'm done with their ways. I'm done with their people. I just want to be about me and my people. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Every other nation does it. And they surviving. They getting along just fine. They don't have to beg their oppressor for nothing. And everything, listen, and their nations is thriving just fine. You understand? They don't have to go through half of the pain and suffering that black people go through. They people die, they get laws passed immediately. Remember that Asian Lives Matter? How many times have black people been dying? Go ahead.
It's lucky if I could to add on to that, which is crazy because you know.
Use the mic, it's right there.
So like, I wanted to add on to the point you were saying. So like to add on to what you were saying, man, it's funny, but when I say it's funny, it's really sad because at the end of the day, this is really how it affects, you know, the black community. You understand? And you know, I mean, Cowboys is doing his job and everything. He was doing it for he was doing it for him, or an African. For you brothers and sisters don't understand. He was doing it for an African. And so he's trying to have a price down on Pat, talking about, well, we can do this, we can do that. And keep in mind, he's in a dingy apartment right now. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. You feel me?
Right.
It was cramped and stuff like that. So he's looking from that apartment to a big old, I ain't gonna say a mansion, but you walk in there, you would be mistaken for one. Like that's where he was living with. He was with the white people. You feel me? There was some freshly new apartments. Like there was still a bunch of buildings that wasn't even fixed yet.
Right.
They were still working on it. but they just had one right in the front of it. When you walk into that mug, you got a big old kitchen area. You got a counter in the front, like one of them cliche mansion movies or whatever.
Yeah,
you walk in,
living
you got
good.
a huge front. Yeah, you got living deliciously. You understand?
Right.
You got a huge front room, got a nice kitchen, whatever. Got a garage. You feel me? Got a great view of the yard in the back. Like it's a huge field. You can literally let your dog just run free up there.
Right.
You feel me? And then we went upstairs and everything, and you know, they had, so when you walk through the house, right, you go straight down the hallway, and if you turn around, right, you got a bathroom to the left before you make it to the steps, and before you make it to the bathroom, you got a room right there. You feel me? It's not a big room, but it's still a room, like a bedroom. You feel me? So you got that bedroom. You go up the steps. You got the little chiller to your left once you make it up the steps. And then if you turn around and go back down the hall, you got the master bedroom, another spare bedroom, and then you got a spare bedroom to that spare bedroom. You feel me? And then they had a bathroom. They had 3 bathrooms there. Wow, they had 3. One downstairs that had a full shower. They had the kits, a stand-up shower, a bath, a sink, toilet, all of that. And then you went upstairs. They had a bathtub. They had 2 of them. So you had so the master bedroom was connected to that bathroom. And then when you went down the hallway again, they had another bathroom across from that.
Right.
And then in another room, they had a whole, like, it wouldn't, so before you make it to one of the rooms, there was a whole storage unit. You had
So rich people probably.
yeah,
used to
man,
getting
but
that.
you had a whole area you could
And
store.
even with all of that, he's trying to talk y'all down, trying to haggle y'all, and trying to get y'all pennies.
Yeah, man. And the point that I wanted to make is that Cap, like, he brought it up, and he had said it before I did. You feel me? Like, he had brought it up and said, like, when it comes to us Black Hispanics and individuals, man, trying to thrive in this so-called place called America, man, this wicked place, man. And, you know, us trying to thrive, and we, you know, heartaching for years and years upon, you know, generations, man, trying to build up that generational wealth, like these oppressors do, man, trying to teach our children.
Right.
And even through all that, we still don't even get half of what these oppressors and these devils make, man, what these heathens make. Like that, I'm pretty sure that African moved over here, got a loan on a house or something like that, and moved into that big old house within the span of maybe 2 years.
No, you definitely
Maybe
did.
less. You feel me?
Yeah, and it ain't just Africans. All these other heathen nations do the same thing. They come over here with no collateral and automatically are put in positions to be successful. Cut it down.
Cut it down, Laura.
And they come over here, they automatically put in positions to be successful.
Right.
They don't have to go through the pain and suffering. They go take out bank loans with no collateral, with nothing to offer. They come over here with nothing, and then automatically put in positions to be successful, to rule over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man.
Right.
And we still don't get it. We still don't get it, man. And here's what we need to do, man. Like, if you could, for the scripture. Zephaniah 2:1. Zephaniah 2:1. I want you to pull the scripture because what you're saying is so heavy. Them Africans come over here, and I'll tell you what, you ain't never seen a homeless African. You ain't never seen a homeless Malbite. You ain't never seen a homeless Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Muslim. You ain't never seen them on the corner begging for change. Never. Never. And whenever you do see it, listen, let me tell you something. White people are homeless by choice. Right. They are homeless by choice. I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? Because they have everything, and they're right. Wrap that up. They're right. Homeless by choice. Because they have everything in their favor and every opportunity to be successful. They have churches and homeless shelters that's strictly predicated to helping the oppressor. Whenever the oppressor's in a bad situation, new programs are formed, and buku amounts of money are just come out of nowhere. Right. Buku amounts of money come out of nowhere. Read this. Actually, before you read that scripture, let's play this article. Let's see if we can't hear this article.
I'll still give it a shot. Try to see if we can hear over it. Even, I'll say,
Yeah, go ahead.
you listened to the video before?
Yeah.
So we can just narrate it.
No, go ahead. Play it. See, is it still talking?
Oh, God, it's still talking.
Let me hear it.
Well, what's the old brother put that we get some kid over bananas. That's all we're going to capital war. That's what I'm going to call Jack Johnson. With a white one in my face.
What the hell is that?
We're going to head over bananas. United States Red Cross.
The oppressor's the goddamn devil.
See that same icon.
Go check his office. Go check his computer in his office. Yeah, go check that. And while you checking that, I'm gonna pull the scriptures. Zephaniah 21. Gather yourselves together, yet gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Let me tell you something, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you ain't desired out here. You still trying to be a part of America. You want to be a part of every other goddamn nation. You want to be a part of the Kemet community and all of that. Man, not to change subjects, but I got a question for you, Kemet community. The Kemet swallows you. I got a question for you. Remember that one cat, Polite? Whatever happened to him, man? Wasn't that y'all leader? Wasn't that y'all designated leader that didn't put no respect on your elders or any of the traditions, the same things that he stood for? He went against Mr. the Black woman as God. Then the next time you see him, he all hugged up in videos with the oppressor. You get what I'm saying? Whatever happened to him? Last I heard, he was being accused of child molestation and rape. Whatever happened to that cat? That's your leader. Whatever happened to him? That's what happens when you gather yourselves onto the goddamn heathen. Huh? I don't know at this point. No sweat. We ain't
So
gonna-
I'll just take the sound off and off the guy.
Yeah.
I'll still leave it like that. We play.
No, go ahead and take that down and pull up the article. And I want you to read the article. But what these devils was talking about was no, it's another article that I sent you. It's an actual article that I sent you. It's in the same thing. And I sent it to your messenger if you just want to read it off your phone. But my thing is this. Kill that alarm. My thing is this. We want to be a part of everything else and forget about the Lord and forget about everything that makes us us, man. These other nations don't give a damn. Take the devils off the screen. I'm trying to look at it. You can't play the article. There's no need for them to be up there. You understand? Like, man, black people, the whole point of this thing is to separate from the goddamn oppressor. That's the whole purpose of this class, man. Quit trying to learn from them. Quit trying to teach your kids their ways. You sentencing your kids to death every time you try to teach them something from the oppressor. You get what I'm saying? Every time you do that, man, you teaching your kids the ways of death. You got that other article? Yeah. I want you to read it though. That's not one you play. That's something you gotta read.
I was gonna just open it up.
Okay, open it up so other people can see the source behind it. Yep. That's it. And I want you to read it nice and loud so people can hear it. Make sure you use the mic.
Come. This is a news article.
The source on there is, I don't know if I'm the
I was
source.
gonna read the title.
Go ahead and read the title.
This is a news article that's named, that is called, or that is titled, Proposal to Teach Slavery and
Involuntary
involuntary
relocation. That's what they're trying to call slavery in school now. So the other devils in the other article was talking about how black kids, how she, went to an all-white school. She grew up in a white neighborhood, rich neighborhood, went to a rich white school, and they started busing inner city kids to her neighborhood. And then for some odd reason, she just couldn't focus in class. For some reason, being black kids in class, she wasn't able to learn at the same rate, and they weren't equal to her. She was better than them, and she don't know why they did that. Then the other devil got to talking about some other oppressor with the eugenics was saying that whenever people want to try to institute or try to want to speak out about integrating, he said just introduce a healthy dose of Negroes. But he didn't use the word Negro, you know what I'm saying? So that should let you know how these white people feel. They feel like you are a burden to their society. You good enough to work for them, but you're not good enough to be their goddamn boss. But you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, we as a people, We don't look, listen, we got the same spirit. We good enough to work with a black man, but a black man can't give me orders. Not a Negro. I'll take orders from anybody else but this nigga. That is called Stockholm Syndrome. That is called hatred, man. Whenever you was the smartest person in class, what did people used to say? You act white. Whenever you spoke proper English, what did people used to say? You talk white. Right. There is no such goddamn thing, man. There is no such thing as talking white or being smart like white. They talk like us and are smart like us. Right? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. We are the cream of the crop, not them. Every name one thing on the face of this planet that a white person hasn't stolen. Right. What is white culture? That's a class for another day. They got real quiet on the internet just then. You get what I'm saying? Got real quiet because we all know what white culture is. Thievery, raping, pillaging, robbing, murder. That's white culture. Right. What is black culture? Innovative, creative, first. Because we're always the first to do something incredible. Let's get that article, man. Let's read it. Then I'm going to quote a scripture.
A group of 9 educators submitted the idea to the State Board of Education, which directed the group to revisit the language. The Texas Tribune reported a former enslaved man and his wife sit on the steps of a decaying plantation house in green country.
You hear me? You jumping. Stay with the article. I think you're jumping all over the place.
No, it was something at the bottom of it.
Yeah, but it wasn't part of the article. Decipher from what's what. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to get there with you and make sure that you stay focused on the article. Because it's one of them articles that's just everywhere. So, take it from the top.
I would read it.
All right, so this is the U.S. News. This is where this article comes from. It comes from the U.S. News. The title of the article is Proposal to Teach Slavery as Involuntary Relocation Sent to Texas Education Board. Go ahead.
Austin, Texas public schools in Texas would describe slavery to second graders as involuntary relocation. Under new social studies standards proposed to the state's education board, a group of 9 educators submitted the idea to the State Board of Education as part of Texas's effort to develop new social studies.
New social studies curriculum.
Yes, curriculum.
Now, hear me out. This is part of the critical race teachings, the critical race theory. They don't want, never mind, keep reading. We get to it.
According to the Texas State Tribune, the once a decade process update what children learn in the state's nearly 8,900 public schools.
That's how many schools they want to institute this into. What kind of schools?
Public schools.
Private schools.
Public schools.
Who goes to public schools, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man? Right. The majority of your goddamn kids. Right. We can't afford private schools. We can't afford it. This is for your kids. Keep going.
The board unanimous. I don't know why I didn't get that. The board, with unanimous consent, directed the work group to revisit that specific language. Kevin Ellis, chair to the Texas State Board of Education, said in a statement, according to the Tribune, board member Aisha Davis, a Democrat who represents Dallas. Let's say Dallas, I don't know. Dallas and Fort Wayne raised concern during June 15th meeting. During a June 15th meeting.
A couple of days before Juneteenth, Negroes, they was hating Black History Month. They was hating because that's what Juneteenth, let me tell you something, Juneteenth is really, it was supposed to be another event for black people. But, you know, Juneteenth, being that Juneteenth is now a national holiday, you know, they got to hear about black this and black that all goddamn month long. So a couple of days before another Juneteenth event, she said, she brought to the board, listen, this got to stop. Look at the date. Juneteenth is June 19th, right? That's what Juneteenth is. The actual date for celebration is June 19th. She said this on June 15th. She said, I can't take these niggas out here talking about slavery and Juneteenth, and this is killing me. Keep going.
Meaning that the term wasn't fair. It wasn't a fair representation of the slave trade.
Read that again.
Raised concern during a June 15th meeting that the term wasn't a fair representation of the slave trade. The board sent the draft back.
Said that it wasn't a fair representation of the slave trade. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle a Negro? Get what I'm saying? You know that old saying, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Ain't that a Judite calling the Ishmaelite a Negro?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it don't, what the hell do you mean a fair representation of the slave trade? If anything, it wasn't fair enough because you're not going into the rapes, the murders, the rapes and the murders, and more rapes and murders. Goddamn devils, keep going.
The board sent the draft back for revision, urging the educator group to carefully examine the language used to describe the events. Carefully examine the language used to describe events.
Yep. So rape and murder, I don't like them words. Go ahead.
I can't, this is somebody, speaking.
Yep.
I can't say what their intention was, but that's not going to be acceptable. Davis told the Tribune on Thursday.
Keep going.
Part of the proposed draft standards obtained by the Tribune say students should compare journeys to America, including voluntary Irish immigration and involuntary relocation of African people.
Oh, read that again. Read that again. Part of the proposal draft standards obtained by the Tribune says students should compare journeys to the America, including voluntary. That's what you read it like that. Yeah, reread it. Let them know, because if you just read it regularly, they're not catching the words. They're talking about a group of people who decided to come over here compared to a group of people who were kidnapped and brought over here. You got to make comparisons to that. There's no goddamn comparison. You would never say to a woman who's been raped, well, just compare her being raped to somebody that willingly gave up the booty. Man, it's the same comparison. The rod went in and out. What's the big deal? There is no goddamn comparison. The wickedness of the oppressor. And we refuse to separate from them. They want to separate from you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. What them devils in that first article was talking about in that little interview, they was talking about segregation. They don't want to be a part. They want separate everything. And I say Most High Christ. That's about the only thing me and a white man would ever agree on. Segregation. I agree. We should have it. Leave us the hell alone. And we never bothered you anyway. We didn't kidnap you and steal you and bring your ass over to Israel, did we? No, you stole us. You ran us out of our home, chased us into Africa, kidnapped us, brought us over here, and ain't stopped killing us since. And you killed us so much that we start to love you for it. And we refuse to separate from you. It's like the Ike and Tina Turner relationship. She was afraid to leave Ike. She didn't think that she could do nothing without him. She was like, no, Ike loves me. Even though he beats me, he loves me. That's us. That's us with America. Even though they kill our babies, we love them. And they love us. Let's get some more on this article.
Part of the proposed draft standards obtained by the tribunal say students should compare journeys to America, including voluntary Irish
Including what?
including voluntary Irish immigrants
Damn it.
and involuntary relocation of African people during colonial times.
They said compare voluntary Irish immigration to involuntary relocation African people during colonial times. They said the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, man. This is what they want to teach your kids now. They want to teach your kids that, listen, there's no difference between you being forced to go somewhere than if you would have just decided to come here on your own. And that's what in the hell? All right, keep going.
The board is considering. Sorry, how do you pronounce the word?
Curriculum changes. Curriculum, like I'm saying it wrong.
Curriculum.
Yeah,
Curriculum.
curriculum. There it is. You know my English sucks.
The board is considering curriculum changes 1 year after Texas passed a law to eliminate topics from school that make students feel uncomfortable.
Read that again.
Oh, God. The board is considering curriculum changes 1 year after Texas passed a law to eliminate topics from school that make students feel discomfort.
Let me read that in white people terms. The board is considering changing the way that we teach black people 1 year after we passed this law to screw black people over to eliminate certain topics that we did that black people speak about because we don't want our white students to feel uncomfortable. That's what that translates into. They don't want white students feeling uncomfortable about slavery.
Right.
Why should white people have to feel bad about slavery? No white people nowadays never owned a slave. Go ahead.
It's lucky, and it's crazy that you bring that up because, like, even in the world, man, like that was something that could never ever get brought up in class, man.
Right.
The teacher would gloss over it and say like a few things about slavery, like yeah, black people were slaves, that's it. But if you let the students get a hold of that, we will tear your head off about it.
Right.
Whether it's us or even the devils in our class, man. Even like the students would go back and forth about that, about that topic, man. Like I know I was definitely in class, like English, English and language, man. Like it wasn't even history class.
Right.
And we would still argue about it. Like your ancestors did X, Y, and Z. Like even in the world, man, we knew that the oppressor was the devil that was speaking.
That's right.
And that is so wicked, man. Like to see like even our own to see even from generation on generation, like we were effed over, man. We really were. We got the short end of the stick when it came to this. And this goes to show, man, like the oppressor knows that he's such a wicked beast that he doesn't even want our kids to know about this. He doesn't want the younger generation to know about this. He wants to sweep this in the world like he never had.
Wasn't no such thing as slavery.
Right.
It was involuntary relocation.
It was like awesome.
Involuntary relocation.
Right.
I'm not even gonna call it slavery anymore. That's not what I'm calling it.
Right.
You know how people was involuntarily relocated here to America. Go ahead.
Lucky, and next you're gonna say the guy that's committed seppuku.
Yeah.
Genocide never happened.
Yeah.
They
We never genocided the Native American Indians.
Yeah.
They genocided themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's the spirit of the oppression for you, man. Lock, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just had to say that, man. That's the spirit of our oppression. That's the spirit of your so-called leaders out there, man.
No,
This the
right.
devils y'all look up to, man.
No, listen, you're definitely right. Let's get a little bit more on this, man, before we shut it down.
No, come.
This is actually the end of the article coming up.
Oh, come, yeah, it is. The state public education system has become heavily politicalized in recent years.
It's always been political.
Right.
That's why when that little black girl was, I forget her name, it's sad that I forget, but when she was going to the white school and they had the military there to protect her and all that,
Right.
that was political.
Right.
That's what that was. That's when the black people votes started to matter and they needed to get the black vote. And if one government official can capitalize off of the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, why not take advantage of it? They've been doing it ever since then. That's what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Right.
Niggas took that as a challenge.
Right. He took that as a challenge.
He took that as a challenge. Ain't nobody welcome to me. I'm gonna go this nigga twice.
So what does homie just say?
Right.
Vote for him right now.
Right? Show him.
Yeah.
Show him out there. Him trying to challenge my black card.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. It's always been political. Keep going.
Right. Come. In recent years, the lawmakers passed legislation to dedicate how race. Yep, I know. I'm making sure. Oh, Shalaki, no, I didn't. Legislation to dictate how race and slavery should be taught in school. In conservative groups pouring large amounts of money into school race boards. So it basically, it's like, if I could,
Go ahead.
I don't know if you want to break it down or
No,
not.
go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question on how, to make sure I'm getting this right.
Go
So
ahead.
basically, they want to pour money into the schools to try to cover up the fact that they want the system to not even speak on, slavery, the transatlantic slave trade and all that. They're
Right.
basically pouring it in so that way they won't, basically the bribe. That's really what it is.
Right. They don't want their kids feeling bad. Listen, I shouldn't have to feel bad about only you niggas.
Right?
Because you're still 3/5 of a person any goddamn way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't feel bad about stepping on roaches, do you?
Right.
You don't feel bad about killing mice that's running through your goddamn house, terrorizing your house, tearing up your food and stuff. You don't feel bad about that.
Right.
Why should we possibly feel bad about killing niggas and doing what we want to do to black people?
It's a lot, if I could.
Listen.
Here's the thing, though. That goes to show that they knew that they really did commit some atrocity right there, man. If you know that your kids is gonna feel bad about this, about what your ancestors did to ours, like that should really speak volumes on the wickedness that they caused, on the wickedness of the generational PTSD that they caused for our Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian brothers, man.
Right.
You wouldn't feel bad about something unless you truly know that you act up or you did something wrong. That goes to show, man, like these oppressors are so wicked, man, that they know that their ancestors was really wrong, man.
This is just like a little kid who made a boo-boo and trying to cover it up.
Right.
That's what little kids do. I don't want to get in trouble for this. Let me see if I can't cover it up.
Right.
That's exactly the spirit of the oppressor.
Right.
You understand? Is it any more on that article?
Come in this last paragraph.
Go ahead.
Come. Texas drew attention for a similar situation in 2015 when a student noticed wording in a textbook that referred to slaves who were brought to America as workers. The book, it's like, you want to speak on it?
Workers. That's what we call them nowadays?
Hey, Con.
Workers.
That's
Damn.
America for you, sir.
Damn.
That is America
He
for
said
you.
he was reading about black people in the 1700s and they called them workers and said, damn, that's what we calling them now, huh? That's what our forefathers were, workers, huh?
Right.
This is why it's so important, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, to separate, bro.
Right.
Separate. Listen, we about to get ready to wrap class up, but we're not done with this topic, man. Listen, we we about to get the rest of the article. I was just letting them know, man. This subject, we're not about to let this go away so easily, man. We about to touch base on this, man. We're gonna start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We'll be actually coming out with the podcast coming soon. Details is in the works. Man, we about to go in, man, because listen, we gotta get back to stuff like this.
Right.
We have to get back to stuff like this. We cannot let this go unchecked and unnoticed, man. This is so important, and this is what we need to do. Like, this is what we need to know. So to help make decisions out here for the people who don't get it, to understand that you got to separate from these goddamn oppressors. Who wants to be a part of something like this? Where I come from, I don't F with nobody that don't F with me.
Right.
The white man don't act with you, black people. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. That's right. That's how he thinks about you. Let's get some more on.
Come. I want to go back to that real quick. When a student noticed writing in a textbook that referred to slaves who were brought into America as workers.
As workers. Them niggas is just workers. They ain't slaves. Workers. Keep on.
The book's publisher apologized and promised to increase the number of textbooks reviewers it used.
He said he promises to change it to involuntary relocation workers.
Right.
That's what he's going to change it to. Keep
That's
going.
all we got in the article, sir.
That's it? All right, let's get Job 9 and 24.
Come. You have to pull, I believe, Zephaniah 1 and 2 and 1.
Yeah,
What
is that? 7, 9, 2, and 1. Let's get it.
Gather ye among themselves.
Oh, yeah, I already read that one.
Come.
I already read that one. Let's get Job 9 and 24. And then after that, I want you to pull Zephaniah 11 and 5.
I got Job 9 and 24.
Let's get it.
Come. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Read it again.
Come. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
The reason they're able to do stuff like this, that's what I was gonna say. Stuff like this is because they're in power, they're in rulership. If you don't like stuff like this happening, guess what you have to do, black man, Hispanic man, Indian man? Serve the Most High and start by just simply separating from the goddamn oppressor.
Right.
Separate from him. Keep going.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Right.
If not, where and who is he?
All right. If the oppressor ain't the goddamn devil, then where and who is he? He's
Right.
covering the faces of the judges thereof. Now he wants to cover the faces of the slaves.
Right.
He wants to compare them to voluntary Irish immigrants.
Right.
What do you think that's going to do? That's him trying to cover the faces of the slaves. Because now when you're comparing them to the voluntary Irish immigrants, they're not going to put black people in chains in them goddamn books. They're going to put white people on boats coming to America looking like the movie Gangs of New York.
Right.
They're going to be in top hats and suits,
Right.
walking around, and they're going to tell you that this is the slave labor that built America.
Right.
These are the workers.
Right.
That's why the word workers was in the textbook. So then when you say involuntary relocation, you'll be like, well, shit, that was just some Irish immigrant who didn't want to go to Staten Island, but did anyway because he was a worker and that's where the jobs were.
Right.
That's how they're going to, listen, they're going to cover the faces, man. Let me get Zephaniah 11 and 5.
Zephaniah 11 and 5.
Zephaniah 11 and 5. My English ain't working today.
It's like it's Zechariah or Zephaniah?
Zechariah.
Okay, no sweat. I was looking at
11.
Zephaniah. I'm like, there's only 3 chapters.
Yeah, there's only like 4 chapters.
All right, no sweat.
Yeah, Zechariah, Salaki, 11 and 5.
You good.
You know what I want.
I got it.
Go ahead and read it.
Come. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Now, them trying to pass this law, passing this law and trying to change these textbooks, this is what they're doing. They even said, we don't want our children feeling bad. We don't want white kids feeling bad about slavery. We don't want to feel bad about slavery.
Right.
Listen, I'm sorry.
You're right.
Go ahead.
Come. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them.
Do what?
Whose possessors slay them.
Listen, we were a possession to these oppressors. We still are. And they slay us. They slay us. But now they don't want to feel bad about killing us. You know why? Keep reading. This is why they don't want to feel bad.
And hold themselves not guilty.
Because they didn't do nothing wrong. It was just involuntary relocation. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing wrong. What did they do wrong? They said sorry. Jesus Christ, what more do you want from the white man? He's apologized for slavery. He gave you Juneteenth. You got the whole month of February, Black History Month. What more do you niggas want? We want you to have whatever you want, Negroes, as long as it don't affect white society.
Right.
Because white people have to live comfortably, and they don't want to look at your black face and think about slavery. And they damn sure don't want you speaking on slavery.
Right.
June 15th was the day that devil made that proposal because she was sick and tired of you niggas talking about Juneteenth.
Right.
In Texas, of all places. How dare you?
Right.
How dare you celebrate Juneteenth in Texas? You knew what this was, black people. You did. We all knew what this was. Keep going.
Oh God. And they that sell them say.
They did what?
And they that sell them say.
Keep going.
Blessed be the Lord.
Blessed be who?
Blessed be the Lord.
Keep going.
For I am rich.
Listen, we're going to sell you and get rich, but you better not say a goddamn thing about the suffering that you went through as a nation, because my kids shouldn't feel bad about you being a goddamn slave. What about the Irish people that came over here voluntarily?
Right.
You don't hear them complaining,
Right.
nigger. The white man is and always will be the goddamn devil about this piece of man.
Right.
And this is not over by a long shot. We're going to make sure that you see that other article that some devils were talking about. We're going to revisit this article. We're going to break it down again in even more depth and detail. Today was a rough start for class. And with that being said, I'm going to turn the class over to Precinct Officer 50. Azar Yashinya, man. Let's step that up. You can, since you're address, you can just stay right there and go. Maybe put a picture on, and so you can read the announcements.
Announcements, Lord's Prayer.
Yep, the announcements, Lord's Prayer, the blessings, and let's just work it out.
Blessings.
Yep, the blessings and the curses. You want to work your version real quick?
Isupk security announcements. Here, the Isupk started out at 1 West 125th Street, Home, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shape themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must be permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the heads of hers. Tithes, which is the commandments, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10 in the Hebrew, means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, free walking for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy obligations. We got the Midwest barbecue on July 24th. You understand? That's where, every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, we come together, man. We have a cookout, man. We show the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, man. We get it on, man. Understand? Be there, man. You are definitely welcome, man. If you ain't got nothing, bring the brotherhood and sisterhood, man. That's all we need. Remind Akima walk to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headbands, or scarves. With that being said, Imagine, which means to rise. Wapanya Hakidam, which means to turn and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Sabah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Asha, Ba'aratazah, Kobol, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Linawa, Lekam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawatanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawatinawa, Lawa'a, Tabaayanawa, Banasaya 1, a ball, Haushayanawa, my gun, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Gula'ala, Waltapara, Walalanyam, Amon. Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. The blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahushua, wa Yaka'ala, wa Alahaya, Madazab Ya'ah, Alawak Yahana, Ha Alawakim, Hazaranyan, Ha Kwadazayanyan, Ha Kayayanyan, Walakwakim, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, through what among. Blessings in English. Blessed are you, Yahweh. So blessed are you, Yahweh, and Yahushua, and Michael, and the angels, commanding during Hannah, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, and the name Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Blessed. Going to do the curses. Isupk curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathens that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. Force their riches to enter into that sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomite and the nation and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies. And with that being, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Hazakomatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the cable access channels. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirits of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all of the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro throughout the planet Earth, through the earth, and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let the house shine. Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucer and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause to be known by all that it's the angels that have done it. Cause to spread throughout our media, throughout the whole world. Cause to spread, cause to shake, cause them to shake at that coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, always, so be it. That being said, Sar, which means a term. We're going to give a curse salute to the teacher, the men of Israel, Major Shabbat, and Major Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. We're going to give this curse salute to the sisters watching online, men of Israel, Major Shabbat, and Major Barak, Yahweh Shema Atam Hashem Yahshua. Ajamtah, class dismissed.